Hello, my name is Mykola Buchyn, and I want to introduce you our research topic, traits and perspectives of the implementations of voting in Ukraine. First of all, I want to talk about the relevance of the article, connecting with the development of information and communication technologies in the modern world, also with the penetration of information and communication technologies into all spheres of modern society and also in the sphere of politics. With the desire of Ukrainian authorities to introduce electronic voting, also with the coronavirus pandemic and actualizations of remote form of communication. Also with the Russian wars, military and information wars against Ukraine. Also, we can talk about the need to study the traits and perspectives of introduction of voting in Ukraine. And also, I want to say that our article is based on the previous article, which was introduced in a previous workshop, where we made the formula of calculation, the level of traits of implementation voting. And now we need for practical verification of our author's methodology for calculation the level of traits of introduction of voting. As I said, our article is based on the expert survey on determination the level of traits to the implementation of voting. As we can see on the slide, the members of expert surveys was 50 experts, which was divided into 5 categories. First of all, it's about scientists, also analysis experts, also politicians, also members of public organizations, and the last category is information technology specialists. In this slide, we can see the number of each category of respondents, the percent of this category, and also criteria and methods of selection of this respondents and the purpose of engagement of this respondent to expert survey. On the next slide, we can see one of the results of survey, but first of all, I want to talk that our expert survey have 2 parts. The first part is general, and the second part is specific part, practical parts. In the first part, the first question was about the level of support, the idea of implementation of voting in Ukraine. As we can see, 99 respondents is the pro-opponents of voting in Ukraine, and 21 respondents is opponent of voting numbers voting in Ukraine. And this slide, we can see the level of support of idea of implementation of voting in Ukraine between 5 categories of respondents. In the next slide, we see the answer on the next question about the types of voting in Ukraine. As we can see, the 18 respondents support such types of voting as remote voting using a smartphone or laptop. And only 11 respondents support another type of voting. On the next slide, we can see the time frames for the implementation of voting in Ukraine. And as we can see, the most support is about time of between the diapason of 3 to 10 years for implementation of voting in Ukraine. The next slide is about the obstacles to the implementation of voting in Ukraine. And as we can see, the most dangerous obstacle is the possibilities for judgment of voting result by the Ukrainian authorities. About 21 respondents support. And the second was obstacle, the presence of external threats that can neutralize the result of willpower. It's about 19 respondents. The next slide is about the advantage of the implementations of voting in Ukraine. As we can see, the high advantage of voting in Ukraine is the speed of vote counting. 36 respondents and convenience for voters, 84 respondents. Increase in out of election, 21 respondents, and so on. The next slide is about the second part of our expert survey, practical or special part, in which we calculate the level of threats of implementations of voting in Ukraine. As we can see, we divided the threats of voting for four categories. First of them is the threats to democracy, and calculation consists. Calculation include level of impact of threats in diapason with 0 to 100 and value of coefficients in diapason with 0 to 1. The next slide is about the second group of threats. It's due to illegal interference. And the next two slides is about the threats to technical serviceability and also threats to legitimacy. As we can see in the next slide, it's about the formula of calculation of expediency of using a voting. Which was made authors in the previous articles. And this formula includes four components, four groups of threats, and is a sum of the level of these four group threats. And in the next slide, we can see the threats assessment scale. When the level of threats is in diapason between 0 or 20%, it's low threats of influence of voting. When the level of threats is in diapason between more than 20% and less than 50%, it's a dangerous situation for voting. And when the level of the threats of implementations of voting is more than 50%, it's the impossibility of implementations of voting. And in the next slide, we can see the result of our expert surveys and the calculations of the level of threats to the implementations of voting in Ukraine. As we can see, between four groups of threats of voting, between four groups. Three groups show the average threat level. The threat to democracy, threats to technical serviceability, and threats to legitimacy. And one groups of threats due to illegal interference, demonstrate the low level of higher threat level, and demonstrate the implementation is impossible. But the threats of voting in total is 0.45 and demonstrate the average threats level. It's seems that possibility actions regarding the implementation of voting is possible, but after elimination of key shortcomings and threats. Thank you for your attention.